Oh, oh. If it ain't one thing, it's 10. Oh, and I'm on the wrong screen. Oh my goodness. Look at us go. Oh, let's see. Where are we at? Well, hello, and welcome back, everybody. I'm AJ O'Neill, and this is me live at work. And what I'm doing today is, the Auth project I've been working on. So if you've been following the channel, you've probably seen some streams of that from about a month ago. I've still been working on it here and there, but I've already been integrating it into a few projects. And what I found, let me see if I can get the docs up real quick, and then I'll do the other stuff at the beginning. But let's just do the real code intro first. So what I found is that I have a slight problem with, I think the technical term is inversion of control. Basically, I'm using maybe you could say a pattern of encapsulation nested a little deeply, and I'll show you the real gist of it right here. Okay, that's a good example. Let me see if I can find a better one though. Okay, so So we got our login handler, and it takes in rec, as in the request object from Express, and then we go and we do some stuff on it based on what the strategy is. So is it a no auth 2 strategy? Is it a no IDC strategy? So for example, GitHub or Google or credentials, meaning maybe username and password or API key. Challenge response, meaning, and I might want to rename that to verifier. I'm not sure about that. But you get an email with a link or a text with a code in it, and then you respond to it, that sort of thing. And then down at the bottom, it returns these claims. And then when it returns them, they are signed and then split up into the appropriate places. Now, the problem with this is just that if you wanted to do something special, then you don't have the opportunity to intercept the response and respond in a custom way. So let's say you didn't want it to respond with access token and ID token. Let's say you wanted to call it Gargle, Splat, and Bob. And there's valid use cases for wanting to call it something different. You can't do that. And so the control, it is abstracted away in not a super meaningful way, because what I could do here, and what I am doing, is I could have just res.issue and then pass these. And then I could have an auth3000.sign, and then you sign these and you get back your tokens and your cookie, and then you can set them as you want. So what I want to do is bring back that control to the user, reduce the abstraction just a little bit. But what I may do, and I'm thinking about this still, what I may do is make it so that you get this auth in object not attached to the request object, because that also is a layer of abstraction that's not technically necessary, but rather just it comes in as its own object and things aren't attached to the request. So we'll see what the right way to do this ends up being. And I may not even do the res.issue thing here. What I might do is just have the auth3000.sign thing here, and then you do res.json. Because the problem with putting the res.issue here, which you'll see in a minute, is that I have to make it asynchronous. And if I have to make it asynchronous, then it doesn't work out quite right. And my little daughter is here. Hello, sweetie. Do you want to be a podcast star?
Yes.
Yes, podcast star? All right. Well, I am going to have you go back out and go hang out with mommy, okay? All right, I'm going to shut the door. I love you, sweetie.
Don't shut the door for me.
Well, not your door. I'm not going to shut your door. Okay, and I'm also going to be eating my sandwich, and as per usual, we're going to have a word from our sponsor, but not really our sponsor, Mountain Dew. Well, might as well just do it now. Pop it top, my friends. It's time to open focus. Oh no, I got it under my nail wrong this time. All right, there we go. So, now that I've officially started, popping and topping all, I had a who to follow for today, but I don't remember. But I did have one. And if it comes to me, then I will maybe update the description as well. All right. So I do have the chat open, so feel free to say hello. and talk with me. I'm going to try to stay on topic because this is, like I said, is work stuff. But we will just move right along. So I think what I need to do here, if I'm not mistaken, first of all, let me see how many instances of Vim do I have running right now. Because I think I had one that was left open the other day by mistake. Looks like we're okay. I'm just going to go ahead and say, well, no, I don't need to kill all those. So I was moving this over to challenge. Let me get into. Oh, and one of the things that I needed to do, the reason that this inversion of a control kind of came up was one, the reason I specified we have a use case where we don't want to just send back the default. We want to send back some additional information. And then the other thing is that it turns out the verification process, which I've started writing the documentation for, let's see, no, where is it at? Okay, I think I put it right here. Yeah, so I call it Challenger. I think I'm going to rename this to Verifier. Yeah, I think that's what the name needs to be. And this is wrong. This should be, that's okay. I can fix that in just a second. Okay, there's the create. And then what is this about then? Oh, yeah. Yeah, so this is, so I think I need to change this to verifier. But basically, there's a bunch of stuff that we might want to customize even on a per use basis. For example, the max age of a password reset might be 24 hours, but we also can use the same pattern for an invite link, and that we might want to have 72 hours, and we might have different constraints on those. And then most of the stuff, get, set, notify, it's just a very, very tiny wrapper around the store and the notify function. So these almost, if you were just going to implement the verifier custom, the built-in verifier, which right now is called Challenger, but I'm going to rename this from Challenger to verifier because I think that's actually a better word. Verifier. Oh, and by the way, at some point today, my M1 Max is going to come, and when that comes, I'm going to be really irresponsible, and we're just going to stop everything we're doing, and maybe do the opening for that, unless it's time for us to go to the pumpkin patch, in which case pumpkin patch takes priority today. Okay, so yeah, you'll see this in a minute because this is the abstraction bit that I'm working on. Also, I didn't get sleep last night. I had very restless sleep, so my energy level's a little off. Happens. And I've got the lights on, so you don't see my normal purple background. I mean, it's there. It's just the natural light is taking precedence because I need some natural light today. I haven't been getting enough recently, and it affects me. So, oh, there we go. That's quite nice. Lots of natural light. Ooh, even some blue in the sky in the distance. It's been cloudy all week so far. Anyway, so this is where I'm at, and let's call that verifier. We'll call this verifier. I'm going to rename. There we go. I'm going to rename that here, which is just meaning that I'm going to go from challenge here to verifier here. And then let's go ahead and go into verifier. We'll just change it all the way around. So here we'll call it verifier. And then I'm going to rename it in here. Yeah, I like that because it needs it needs a verb form and a verb noun form, and verifier sounds better than challenger, although challenge sounds better for the thing that it creates. It creates a challenge, and then you verify the challenge. Whatever. Verifier can create the challenge. That makes sense. Let's see. So I don't technically need to rename anything in here. But I do in session. So I think I just need to check all instances of Challenger in here. and then replace them with verifier. I'll just go with that for the time being. Okay. Okay. So I've got this going on, but I don't quite like it. So here's where I was talking about where I'm setting up the res.issue. But the reason I don't like it is you see everything has to be async, and that's because these functions have to be async. And generally speaking, this is a weird pattern. So I don't think this is the right call. I think that the right call for this is actually going to be to expose this in a different way. Though I'm not sure what's the right way, because then we have this other problem is too many different things that need to be in scope and might interact with each other. So let me go back for a second and look at the index. Let's look at the README. Okay, let's look at login handler. So login handler is defined somewhere, and this would look better if I was looking at it on GitHub, but I'm just looking at it locally, and it doesn't have syntax highlighting because it's not highlighting because it is inside of a markdown file, and so the syntax highlighting isn't nesting. If I was using VS Code, it probably would, and I could probably get a plugin, a better markdown plugin that would have it do that here, but whatever. Okay, so I guess this is okay though, because basically this is called session middleware everywhere. I would need to say session middleware.sign is a function, and then login handler would need to have access to that function. And so the question is, do we put it on res, and then it's always available within those paths? Or do we say that you just need to have access to session middleware, and so then down here, instead of res.issue, it would be session middleware, which that the name of it kind of meh, and then say sign tokens, for example, and then pass in this stuff. The question is just what's the right layer of abstraction, because this wouldn't work, because literally we'd have to have all these awaits in here. Res.issue res.json, JSON. Let me see anywhere where we've got those elsewhere. And let's see, return. Yeah, so this one we need to switch up to, so this would be await res.issue. And this one as well. Yeah. Oh wait. And these things have different names because I've been over the couple of months that I've been using this, I've changed things. So originally this was called Git claims. Now I typically have been calling it login handler. So we could just call it that. I might break it down a little bit more. Login handler. Because Git claims no longer makes sense. And this is good. It's good that it no longer makes sense. All right. So a lot of this documentation would need to change. This is the problem with writing documentation as you go, is that you got to change the code and you got to change the documentation. And then you end up with some bad documentation, which is not what you want. Ideally, whoops, you don't want bad documentation. Just 1 second here. All right, just looking over at something else. Okay. Yeah, I'm sorry my energy is just kind of low today, but so it is. This is life. You know how it goes. Well, all right. Thank you, honey. Bye. Alright, now I've got the baby monitor. So if baby wakes up, I also got to go in that case. But anyway, just because I have low energy today doesn't mean that you have to. Hello. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. No. Don't do it. Don't wake up. Don't wake up. No, don't wake up right now. What? No. No. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, we'll see what happens here. As soon as mommy leaves, start stirring. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to say what the right thing to do is here. One of the reasons, so you notice, the session middleware is created in this fashion. And so it has access to the private key and whatnot. And so we can have a sign function that's a little bit nicer, a little bit wrapped. So that's good. I don't know. I think I'm just going to go with this and see where it takes us. Because, again, with emergent design, the idea is that you kind of start in a direction, you do some stuff, you see how it goes, and then, as necessary, you make some changes. So I think that's where we're at. All right, let me make sure there's no more instances of Challenger. Okay. Let me... All right, we need to get rid of this. This will be verifier.js, and then we need to replace all instances of Challenger with, whoops, verifier. Okay, there's one. Was it right here? Yeah, that gets passed in as such. Okay, that makes sense. And I don't know if we actually need the issuer in there. Do we need issuer in there? What do we need issuer for? We possibly need it there? All right, I don't think we do need it. Because the only place I see it used is right here, which really isn't necessary. I mean, maybe it could be, but I don't think so. Yeah, I'm just going over the same thing over and over again. This is it. All right, so I think we could get rid of that there. Because when we build, yeah, where's create routes coming from? Create routes. So it's going to create the verifier with the ops. Yeah, so we don't need that there. I'm going to get rid of this. And then I don't think, do we need the get claim still? To do, remove after rollout. I don't even know what that meant, but getting rid of it now. Okay, and what else? Get claims. And really, this should just be login handler at this point. It's no longer get claims. But I don't think I want to change it right now because there's too many places in the code that rely on that terminology. Oh, focus on my face, camera. My face. Yep, that one. Thank you. Bum, 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 bum. Oops. Okay, what's going on? Sorry, I need to... Baby monitor's making a weird sound. Okay, turn the volume down. It's making one of those, you know, those noise cancellation throbs where something's kind of like, it's doing that kind of thing. There we go. Okay. I got to respond to a work message real quick. I just got to get somebody's email to somebody else. Oh, hey, RE1 Games, what is up? Sorry, I didn't see you there. Well, I'm just coding at work. How about you? What's up? So let's see here. Hey, completely off topic, but has anybody else had this problem where well, so I have Comcast for phone, and I think they're ripping me off on data because my phone will say that I've used. Actually, where's my phone at? I need to do the reset stats on this. My phone is saying that over the past 4 months I've used 4 gigabytes of data, and twice in the last 4 months they've told me that I'm over data, and the data is at 3 gigabytes. So between my wife and I, the numbers don't add up. There doesn't seem to be a way that they could be true. I think they're ripping me off. I think they're doing some sort of special counting. It could be gigabytes versus gigabytes. No, I don't think it's that either. Let's see. Anyway, I gotta do that to my wife's phone as well. We gotta start doing that every month and catch them in their lies, because I think they're just, you know, doing shady business tactics to make a little bit more money. Alrighty. Writing a JS Canvas app. That's cool. Okay, did I get that email? Yeah, I did. Let me make sure I get over to the right person. There we go. Boom. All right, now I'm back over here. So this is the weird part. We've got some strange dependencies in the way this thing works. Because I want to weigh the, let's see, Git claims. This is not going to be what it seems. So what this should be, the login handlers, there should be a variety of them. And this should get its specific login handler, maybe. Well, there's a few that are different. There's a few that are relatively the same. The refresh and the exchange are different because you're dealing with somebody who's already logged in versus just about everything else, OIDC, OAuth, etc. You're dealing with somebody who's renewing a session entirely. But this Git claims should be something more along the lines of create session, and then the other one should be called exchange token and refresh token, and refresh cookie, actually. And then how you handle those individually, I don't know. I got to think about it more. But it's time to move on. It's time to move on because here, what we really need to do, let's see, where are we at? Magic Link? I want to rename Magic Link as well. Well, I'm just going to leave it called that for now. res.issue. Let's see, what do we got here? Yeah. I think this is what it should be. I should have maybe res.sign. And then we could essentially do the same thing here. What is this? Return await grant tokens. And then here we could return await grant refresh, grant tokens and cookie. I think is what that would end up being. Grant tokens and cookie. All right. And then I need to update my types. So here we would also need a sign as a function. So now my type linter is happy with me. And I think that should do the trick. Oh. Oh, bless me. Grant tokens. Okay, rec and res. I don't remember why we pass in res there, but I don't think it's going to hurt. You stay asleep, you little baby. Shh. Okay. All right, so I think this should work. But we do have a problem here. I need to reduce some of the abstraction on this. Grant tokens and cookie. I need to return what the cookie is, but set it in a different way. So here, oh yeah, this one's a little bit tricksy because we want to delete the old session before we add a new session, and that's at the database level. And I talked about this before, but one of the problems with deleting a session is you can't count on a browser to delete a session, because a browser doesn't have to do what you tell it to do. The browser can choose not to delete the session, or an attacker can take a cookie and save it for later. So if I were a disgruntled employee and I wanted you to, and I had a logout, or I had a cookie that lasted for 3 days or 14 days or whatever, I could potentially still keep my access after you revoke my ability to sign in by just reusing the cookie and not paying attention to the browser having said, okay, clear sessions or whatever. I mean, that's kind of a junk scenario. I didn't say that quite right, but anyway, there's cases where you can tell the browser that it should log out the user. It doesn't mean that it will. And so we need to delete the cookie from the database. Okay. Let me see all the places refresh session is used. Not very many. It looks like 1. Okay, in that case, what I'd prefer to do is move this around a touch. So let's say probably just let each of these like this. I don't know what the purpose of, as probably just left over from some other iteration of this. Let's say we're going to return refresh token. All right, so we're going to do let refresh token equal, and then refresh session. I won't do anything with the database here, right? Why do we even have res? No need. Okay. So at this point, this function doesn't feel that useful to be a function at all. I'll leave it for now, but probably should just disappear. Okay. Because I think what should happen we definitely should log this out. Oh, okay. Max age. Oh, whoops. Where'd max age come from? Let's see. Refresh session. Dang it. Yeah, I think this whole function just needs to go. We're just going to get rid of refresh session as a function. Yeah, it just does way too little. Oh, bless me. This makes much more sense. There we go. Yep, that looks right. Okay. So now this function's a little bit longer, but it does, I mean, it kind of contains the minimum amount of what it needs to contain, except that we do need to separate this, I think just this part out. Well, we got the problem with cookie ops. This is our problem. So when we call res.cookie, we need to know what the max age is going to be. That's where, yeah. Not sure how to go about that. We might need a cookie options. Because what I'd like to do is move most of this stuff out into a different function so that I can handle, I don't know. And why do we need the, we need the response object because we set the cookie on the response object. It'd be great to get rid of that. But then I'm not quite clear on how we do it. I mean, I guess we could give back refresh token, although I don't really want to give back. I mean, we could say cookie refresh token. And then options. That could work. But the thing is, I don't want... I'd want to make sure that this doesn't actually get sent to the browser. And I'm not quite clear what the right way to do that is. If we're going to do it like this. Let me see, where all is this used? Grant. I think this is used in a lot of places. And so I have to go update all of them. So for now, this is what I'll do. I'm just going to experiment with this idea. we're going to take the same function. We're going to duplicate it down here. We're going to change the name of the original. So the original, I'm just going to put, we'll say sign, token, and cookie is what we'll call it. And then we're going to move all this stuff out. But then I don't have max age either. Okay. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. Or do I need max age? Maybe I don't need max age. If I set the cookie options there. Okay, this looks good. I can set the cookie options there. I can let await sign, tokens, and cookie. Give all claims, rec. And then I don't need to give res anymore, right? So we can get rid of that res. Do we even need rec at this point? Yeah, we do need rec. Probably we need to pull this further up, though. That should be an ops, not a rec. All claims. Yeah, I see why that's that way. It's probably a bad pattern to do it that way, but so be it. I'm checking over on chat again. Again, feel free to say hello and interrupt me a little bit. Okay, let tokens equals await this thing. And then tokens dot ID token go. Cookie.refresh token, cookie.options. I think that looks right. Got sign, tokens, and cookie. So really, I redid my refresh session there. I just did it, I inverted it. So that sign function has all of the signing bits and the setting the options. And then this one has expire, the old cookie in the database. By the way, I do want to make this an auth in a box type solution, so I do plan on putting in the database tables and all that into this as well eventually. Okay. ID token, access token, cookie's been set. Grant tokens and cookie looks right. And maybe wherever this function is really just needs to be two things. Maybe rather than one function encapsulating two functionalities, because I don't think these are used for anything else afterwards. Yeah. They're not. What it probably should be, instead of grant tokens and cookie, there should probably be a grant tokens and a grant cookie that looks like this. I think that's reasonable. Let's see. In which case, we could probably do this. Okay, so let's go make the grant cookie function. Hey, how's it going? I'm AJ. I'm having a little bit of a low energy day, so I apologize, but thanks for joining in. Feel free to chat me up, say hello, tell me where you're from, what your interests are, and give me any questions you might have. I am working on work stuff, so I'm trying to stay mostly focused on that, but if you ask me a question that's a little off topic, I'll take a minute to answer it, or I'll let you know if I can't for some reason, or not can't, but want to delay that a little bit or whatever. Okay, so what we need is a grant cookie. Let's see. Where am I at here? Sign, tokens, and cookie. Yeah, I don't need this. Let me just get rid of it. I like the idea of having a little bit of extra nesting on this just because it feels a little protective. I don't know if that's really what I should worry about, but it's a private function at this point, so we're going to go with it. So we're going to go with, yeah, here we are. So that is what it is. And then this really should be sign cookie. Okay, that actually makes sense. So I will move this around. Okay, so where's the... Oh, this would just be await grant cookie then. all claims rec res. And then this right here is where we move things around a little bit. So this one I want to deprecate. I want to just get rid of this because I don't think that it's very useful. Because that little abstraction isn't worth it. Better to have 2 lines there than to have this silly, rather silly abstraction. And we could make this even more, whatever. Grant tokens and cookie. Hey, origami 22404. Is that catch 22 not found? Is that what that stands for? Do you want to... Yeah, sorry. I'm a little out of it. Mountain Dew. I've been hitting the Mountain Dew a little too hard recently, if I'm being honest. I haven't been getting high enough quality of sleep, and then I've been Mountain Dewing to compensate, which leads to, again, not a very high quality of sleep. Okay. Grant tokens, grant cookie. Well, let's see, my goal is just to get rid of this entirely anyway. So maybe I ought not worry about it as far as it goes into the other thingies there. Okay. Yeah, so with the whole grant cookie bit, wonder if there's a better way I could do this. Could I call it reset cookie? I have a res.reset cookie. And then take in refresh token and cookie and refresh token and options. Because again, my goal is to allow us to make some modifications to this. So right now it's a little too encapsulated. Yeah, I think that's the way to do it. let's say we have a reset cookie, and we take in cookie options rec and res. Yeah, this doesn't feel like it changes much for us. Let's see. Could do like this. Again, these abstractions are kind of senseless because, and I mean, now look at where we're at. I'm just kind of playing around trying to understand where it ought to be because I don't quite understand it yet. It's the truth. All right. Identifier expected. There we go. All right. All right, I think I'm going to change everywhere where I have grant cookie. I think I'm going to call it reset cookie instead. Okay. And then I think I'm going to change all instances of sign cookie to grant cookie, which is only 2. And then I think I'm going to change all instances of reset cookie to be these 2 lines. Oh, crap. I said all crap because I already had a function called reset cookie. So my renaming didn't work as perfectly as I'd hoped. But I think I've gotten rid of all instances of this reset cookie. There's no more reset cookie all claims. Good. So this one goes away. And then grant tokens and cookie becomes this right here. And then, there shouldn't be any uses of this that are direct in this file. Good. I think I'm going to get rid of the underscore on this for the challenge and magic link. So let me go do that. Grant tokens and cookie. Grant tokens and cookie. Yeah, so we're just going to get rid of the underscore on that. Okay, and we're pretty much at the point where as long as I figure out what I want the replacement to be for the pattern that I've been using where it returns an object and then the object gets signed, I'm ready to deploy that. Well, hello. Welcome to the channel. Sorry, I'm having a bit of a low energy day. I'm saying this every time somebody joins in, at least that I see, because I'm only looking at over there every once in a while. But anyway, but I'm just going through doing some work stuff, refactoring. I'd love to know who you are. You know, say hey. I'm AJ. Love to know what brings you to the channel today. Feel free to ask me any questions you got, anything about what's on screen, or some other things you got floating around in your head. And again, sorry, I'm feeling a little bit low energy, so it's not going to be as hoo-yah and entertaining. But then again, I mean, it's about every other session. You know, there's a session where it's like, oh yeah, cool, grinding through, getting stuff done. And then there's a session where, like this, where it's just, okay, let me think through some problems and let me do what I need to do. But do say hello if you don't mind. Okay. So I think I've pretty much gotten rid of this, but the thing is, what's going to replace it? So I've got this res.sign. I guess I need res.reset cookie. Oops. All right, why is this complaining? Oh, it's complaining because it doesn't like how I haven't defined what this is. Okay. Bless me. That looks ugly. Looking better. All right, this is going to be a string, and this is going to be, I'm just going to be lazy and call it an any. No, don't wake up, little baby. Little baby's waking up. Okay. Let's see. I wonder, does this actually need to be async? Yeah, it does, because of the whole signing bit. That's one of the reasons I don't want this to be on res. Because it doesn't follow the convention. Oh, and I need to go into my types. And then I need to go add reset cookie as a function here. Okay. Okay. So I guess it would be sign tokens, and then sign cookie. Again, I don't think that these are quite right, but whatever. I don't know. Or maybe I should have this behavior. What do I have here? Issue refresh cookie. Kind of having a tough time figuring out what this should be. Oh my goodness, everybody's joining in. It's a boring day, y'all. It's a low energy day where I mean, I'm just doing boring code. There's not a whole lot to learn here. I'm just refactoring. You picked the wrong day to join in. But it's okay. I welcome all of you. Usually I'm a little bit more excited, a little more animated, at least for the first couple hours. But today, I'm just sipping Mountain Dew for dear life and trying to figure out what the heck I'm doing. My main problem is, let me go back and review because there's so many people who have joined in. So I have this login function. So I'm doing it based on tokens. It's kind of the opposite of the way that Passport does it. Passport, you're creating your user object every single time that there's a request response cycle. Here, you're essentially creating an ID or an access token that has the things that are necessary on it only when the person logs in, and then it's always available. So you're not necessarily doing the database lookup except for when you're doing the login, which is not necessarily a virtue or a vice or anything. It's just the way that happens to be. Anyway, let me go into my login handler. So one of the things that I realized I needed to fix is the login handler is getting a little too complicated with these different strategies and stuff. And what I had been doing before, let me just redo this, was that you'd return, they're called claims when you create a token. The things that the properties, the details you put in the token are called claims. And so I was doing a return of the claims, and then res.json would get called and it would send back the tokens in the response. But the problem with that is that it doesn't give us the ability to customize the response before it gets sent. And so then I thought, well, maybe I'll do this res.issue where it's up to you to send the tokens back. I guess it really should be res.tokens then. I don't know. But anyway, but the problem there is that it has to have this await on it, and that's unfamiliar with Express because the key signing uses the crypto lib, and the crypto lib is asynchronous. And so if you're going to sign a key, if you're going to sign a token with a key, you have to wait for the crypto lib. And so then this becomes an await on the outside, and that seems a little bit weird. Oh, excuse me. And so I'm just trying to figure out what the right way to go about this is. I'm not quite there. I'm pretty close, and then I need to move on to actually doing some implementation with it because that's going to direct how it proceeds. You know, the tests the hypothesis of did I get this right. There's just some little gritty details that I'm kind of fighting over. Let's see what this looks like. Issue refresh cookie would need to happen first. Right? No? Issue tokens. Let's see what this is saying. Okay, something just went on with my phone. Let me see what that was. Okay, nothing. Absolutely nothing. All right. Oh, what does this say here? Oh, good. A buddy of mine was having some trouble with his kid where they were in the hospital, and just got a message saying that things are looking good. Things are going in the right direction. So that's good. Always good to hear that. All right. So I've got too many of these functions because I'm not sure which one I actually want to use. Hence, I've got too many of them. Also, well, there we go. That's that. So this one, I just want to say sign stuff. And I don't like doing this sort of thing just because it's unfamiliar in JavaScript. It makes perfect sense if you use a language such as Go or Rust or... I'm a little bit surprised that with all of the modifications they've made to JavaScript, I mean, it's just full throttle on making lots of changes, but they're not very considerate as far as I can tell about which changes they make. I think it would make sense to... Well, I mean, I guess this essentially is a tuple, so maybe... Yeah, I guess essentially this is a tuple. And I don't know how else, without breaking the language even further, you would distinguish between a tuple and an array in JavaScript, so kind of makes sense. Tuples are... So typically arrays are the same thing over and over again. So you have an array of names. You have an array of, I don't know, whatever it is. Favorite books. But arrays are typically the same thing in the array over and over again. A tuple is more when you need to return three things and you want them to not be necessary. You don't want to necessarily have to associate them by a name, and you just want them to be destructured automatically. So I'm just going to give you kind of a quick example here. So if this were the way that this worked, say whatever, I don't know what this thing is. So if we're to return a tuple, then on the other side, the tuple would just be destructured without any additional syntax. You could return the tuple like this, and you could destructure the tuple like this. But then when you consider that what you end up doing is this bit here, well, 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. But the main distinction between a tuple and array is that a tuple is just meant to be a collection of things. They're not necessarily meant to be similar. Okay. Yeah, I need to expose this somehow. And I don't think this is really the way to expose it. It works, but I don't quite like it, to be honest. Let's see. I also want to say, or all claims dot refresh claims. Do I want this one to be that way too? Probably. Okay. That's kind of the right thing, kind of the wrong thing. Almost. Let's see. I almost feel like this should be on the outside. Yeah, because there's not, as far as the cookie goes, you're either going to include it or not, you know? Okay, I might say, okay, this is a little bit awkward, but we're going to go with it. Okay, good. So we're going to say if you don't want the cookie to happen, then you can false the refresh claim. I don't know. I don't want to give too much. With great power comes great responsibility. This is the problem. So the more abstraction there is, the less responsibility you have, but the less power you have. And the more power you get, the more lines of code that you end up having to write. So I'm just trying to find the right balance where you don't have to write a lot of code. You don't have to understand a lot of stuff. There's a basic example you can copy and paste. But I don't want people, especially myself, I don't want to lose the ability to actually say, you know what, I need to modify this. I don't know. Somebody have to do a lot of custom implementation. So I'd rather say, okay, the lines that you copy and paste are a few lines longer than to say, well, if it doesn't fit your use case, you just have to fork it and make your own. Or go back and change the code and break the API. Okay, I think that's right. I need to check on a work message real quick. All right, work message checked. And a funny message too. All right, back to work. Oh, Ishan. Hey, good to see you. Nice work. Do you mind if I ask a general question in between code? Like how to start a project? I mean, what is the starting point of any project? Well, I actually did a video on that. Let me see if I can pull it up. but I did do a how to start a project. It depends on what you're trying to do. So I would say, let's see if I can get to my own channel here. And search it. Oh no, I didn't want to go to YouTube Studio. I wanted to go to my own channel. Sorry. It starts with requirements. And I'll send you two things real quick. One is good project ideas. And that's going to be, I've got a list that I'm working on. Is this it? Great read. No, this is great readme examples. Let me see. Portfolio project ideas. So let me link you to this. Check this out. Portfolio project ideas. There's that. And then I'll link you to my video. Let's see if I can find it. How to start a project. Here's one that's how to start a project for clients, for yourself, or your boss. And I think I actually, did I actually start a project with this? I'm not sure. I think I did. So obviously, this is no longer live, so you can't ask me live questions about it. Oh, but I think this might have been one of the first in the series for Bliss, which is my little blog project. I think this might have even been the genesis for that. It was back on July 24th. Uh-oh, baby's waking up. Let's see. Mommy should be back home soon. Maybe before he comes to full scream. Oh, he's going to get to full scream. There it goes. I'm going to give it a couple minutes. Because Mommy should be home any minute now. She's on her way back, so. If he can, whine a little bit and then sleep for another 5 minutes. There he goes. Oh, he's going to go into full whine. If he goes into full whine, I'll have to go get him. Oh. Nope. Now he's just being curious. So he woke up. We'll see. We'll see. Now, unfortunately, let's see my tests are here. I think these are all integration level tests. Okay, this might work. I'm going to see if I can run these tests. This thing I hate about tests is you got to keep them up to date. I think I'm just going to go play with it in the real environment. But this gets me a few steps closer, what I've done. It's not perfect yet. But again, as I actually use it and I share with other people, so the other people that are using this Auth project, as I share with them and I get feedback from them, it'll become more clear what the right thing to do is. And it may be that the right thing to do is exactly the way that it is now, where you can either return an object that has the stuff in it and not worry about it, or you can take more control. Maybe that is the right thing to do. I don't like there being two ways of doing something. If it can reasonably done with just one way. Anyway, it is time to go test this out. So what I'm going to do is say, oh, I need to add to my types. What was my last one? Okay, we're going to do git commit whip. Yeah, it's funny because he's waking up for a second, he's whining, and then he's falling back asleep. And he wakes up for a second, he whines, he falls back asleep. He's definitely getting up. Oh no, there was a conflict. Conflict in package.json. Interesting. Oh good, mommy's home. Saved by the mommy. Funny thing about that. Oh, bless me. Now the tags are a little messed up. Oops. Yeah, that kind of stinks. All right. Interesting. I think we just lost the other ones. Let me get check out refactor here. Oh no, look at that. Oh. Pre-4 comes before pre-2 now. Oops. So it happens sometimes. Might just need to delete that out of the Git history. Oh. What am I doing? Okay, I'm going to bring it over into the real project now. I guess I am going to npm install, let's see, git log. I think I am just taking this bit here. And then I'm going to be doing an npm install -- save, and then it'll be what? GitHub. Let's see. Maybe I just update package.json. Let's see. What am I looking at here? Auth next. Do we got anything in the works in this? A couple of things. Yeah, I've got some more stuff. Okay, yep. I see all this. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and git stash. I'm going to go git checkout master, pull, git checkout auth next, git rebase master, git push fu origin auth next, and then git stash pop. And then let's go into package.json And for auth 3000, let's see, npm install save git plus, no, http, no. Nothing's in my history for that? Oh well. Alright, we can do, that's the git commit https, I think it's git plus. Is that how it works? Git plus https. GitHub.com/the root company / what was it supposed to be? Auth 3000. I think that's it. Let's do an npm install and see if that fixes something for us. All right. Huzzah. Oh, that's too bad. Well, that didn't work out. Let me do this. Challenge needs to be verifier. I'm just going to mark that F for fix up. There we go. And let me check the git log on this. What's up, Honene? All right. He is stirring, so he is waking up. Okay. He's whined a little bit and then kind of falling back to sleep and whined a little more. So he's on the verge. Okay, now where am I at? Over here. Gosh, the tirednesses have just got hold of me today. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. There we go. I think 9 is all we need. Bada bing, bada boom. And because I'm feeling a little distracted, I'm going to check on something that I shouldn't check on. But, sorry. You're just going to have to forgive me. This might be a 5 can of Mountain Dew day to really get my focus back. No, what it's going to need to be is I might need to take a nap, to be honest. I just need to pick up on a little bit of extra sleep because I just did not sleep well last night. But it's, it's part of the season and it's part of, I don't know. Anyway, blah, 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 blah. What was I going to look up? I was going to look up Apple. I know that there's no good that really comes from this. But I'm going to click to see when the M1 Max will be here. Let's see, sometime yesterday, I got your shipment is on its way. And I'm going to click track shipment. It is out for delivery. There we go. UPS. Sometimes you can see, it'll show you. Come on. Oh, they're not doing it for this one. Sometimes it'll show you what street they're on, which is never good to look at because they don't do things in the same logical way that you might predict that they would. Instead, they go in whatever fashion makes the most sense for hitting their target times with whose delivery is guaranteed to be morning delivery or same day delivery or whatever, so they'll loop back to your neighborhood 3 times before they deliver something to you. You know, they'll come right up to your street and then go to the other side of town and then come back. Yeah, one time, I think it was when I got the M1. I was crazy watching, waiting. When is it going to get here? When is it going to get here? Like a little stupid kid for Christmas. And the answer was eventually. But it came so close so many times. It drove me nuts. Okay. All right, now I need to go into source lib auth. And I need verifier here. And let's see. All right, verifier.create. This is correct. Bless me. See, this feels wrong. That's my problem with it. This just didn't feel right. Oh wait, let's see. Auth 3000. Whoops, node modules. Auth 3000. Verifier. Wait a minute. Didn't I just... What? Oh no, and the version's way wrong too. Well, that's scary. What is going on here? Yeah, this should definitely be v14 pre 5. That's what this should be. And then files, verifiers right there. Don't we have that verifier? Yeah. All right, npm install. Just making sure that this stuff's all up to date. Okay. Just double check here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, we got 9. Ba-doop-ba-doop-ba-doop. All right. Okay. Let's see. Node modules, not moment. Auth 3000. All right, what is going on here? Maybe it's not reinstalling for some reason, but if I let me rumref it. See. What do you think now? What the letter L? Okay, something's going on that I don't quite like. package lock. I probably did this wrong. Looks right enough. This is wrong for sure, though. Oh, okay. Resolved. Yeah, so let's go see if we can fix that. Oh, you know what I bet I need to do? Maybe I need to do it like this. Oh, I hear the sound of a big truck. Is it the big truck carrying the goodies? Hmm? No, it's not. Okay. Removed one package, updated one package. Great. Finally. Oh, versioning in NPM is kind of crazy, mainly because none of the commands work like you expect. Most of them ignore the version. That's really kind of dumb, because one of the things that a package manager needs to do, in fact, the primary thing that a package manager needs to do is manage versions of packages. That's kind of what the purpose of a package manager is. And yet NPM has never been particularly good at that. And it's made the wrong decisions over and over and over again to the point of yarn being invented. And then there's now you got two problems. Now you got two package managers that don't do the right thing. GoMod, as far as I can tell, is the only package management system that solves all solvable problems with package management. I think that the talk, go with versions, convinces me that there is no alternative way that would be better. Oh, thanks, honey. This might be just what I need. Chocolate moke. Okay. All right. Let's go back in here. Source, lib, auth, and let's just kind of see what are we going to do with the verifier. There's auth 3000. Yeah. I think we're going to have to move Auth 3000 down into here. Let me go check on that. So this is the problem. I get stuff that's like some of the stuff needs to go up there, some of the stuff needs to go down here. Okay, Auth 3000. All right. Verifier. There we are. Okay, issuer. Is that right? What's it whining about now? Could find such and such and such and such. Okay, there we go. Okay. So that seems good enough. What is it whining about now? Expected one argument but got 0. Here, I'll throw in a credentials for you. Or throw in a blank object for you. Auth. Let's go take a look at this. Does init not return itself? Yeah, let's make init return itself. Might be kind of silly. Works all right. I don't know. Okay. This is the wrong name for that. It should not be called verification. It should be called something else. Verification store, maybe. Okay. Now the main thing with this was that I need a way to use the verifier over again. That was kind of what this whole, in last 15 hours of refactoring was. That's a stupid amount of time, but what do you do? It takes longer. See, this is the problem with refactoring code. It almost takes longer. Well, it's deceptive, but it takes much longer to refactor existing code than it does to write new code. The problem is, would you get the new code right? Because you'd have to think through all of the old problems and the new problems. So the refactoring probably ends up being worth it. Okay. Now I just need to get into, let's see, new user to account. Is what all this was for. Right in there. Okay. Oh, and I need to be able to handle the extra pieces. I just don't have the brain for this today. I'm having a Teravangian day. For those of you that don't know, Teravangian. Don't name your son Teravangian. Let's see. Well, I guess if you search Teravangian, you're mainly going to get spoilers. But he has a blessing and a curse that he is incredibly smart on some days and incredibly dumb on other days. And when he's smart, he's not kind. And when he's kind, he's not smart. Anyway, okay, what's the whole bit here? The whole bit here was that I wanted to be able to get the verifier and send an email template outside of the normal strategy. So we're going to do let verifier equals require lib source lib auth.js.verifier, right? And then oh, low blow. I did know someone based a book character on your character. I guess that actually is kind of true. But he's never met me. However, I think he might get wind. So One of the people in our office and my wife brought me some chocolate milk, which is also, it's almost as good as Mountain Dew in terms of focus, except it's got more calories in it. Substance, real substance. But one of the guys in the office, adjacent to ours, well, their company is they make board games. Well, I guess it's not just board games; it's card games. They make games. That's what their company is. They make games, and they actually one or two of them actually know Brandon Sanderson, who makes these books. And so he asked me what the name of my son was, and when I said the character's name, he said, "Really?" As in the dude. And I said, "Yeah, Brandon Sanderson's character." I said, "Yeah." So I might get back to him. Actually, I was thinking I should go on the fan wiki and say, am I the first person to name my son after this character? Not after Terravangia. Okay. We got the verifier. Verifier.create. Verification equals. And then rather than a temp password, verification. And then I think I need to do await verifier.set verification. I think it's .id verification. I think it's like this. Yeah, he's a pretty cool guy. I haven't met him, but when I've seen him do interviews and stuff, I agree. Oh, good. I'm so glad that you discovered Brandon Sanderson. You're binging. This is awesome. That should be my who to follow for today. I think I'll put that in. That will be my who to follow for the day, is Brandon Sanderson. Gosh. Oh, where'd it go? Nope, that's not what I want to do. I hit the wrong button 6 times in a row. Who to follow. That's what I'm gonna add that to the stream. Description when I get back to that. Anyway. Yeah, which book did you start with? Tell me more. We can have a really good conversation here. Alright, so I wanted to create this. Maybe create and set should happen at the same time. Because it should be, let's see, type is going to be email. Is this it? No, that's the Amazon Prime van. It's not the UPS. Okay. Oops. All right, there we go. I think that's it. I think that's all I needed to do here. Let me check on the verifier.set. All right, started with the Way of Kings. Wow. Okay. Okay, good. Went through Mistborn Trilogy first. Yeah, Alloy of Law is definitely more. It's a different feeling. It's not as gritty. It's more lighthearted. Um, it's I, gosh, I love Wax and Wayne. But and the fourth book of Alloy of Law should come out very shortly. He has finished it. It is done. So it is, if I understand correctly, it is presently in the publication cycle. Um, I think he finished the edits on it. Maybe he's got one more month of going through the editing process, and then it freezes. But it's pretty close to frozen and preparing for production publication. But the story is done. It's finished. Okay, what was I looking for here? Challenge.set. I think I probably could have this set. Let me go in here. Verifier. Dot set. Was this one exchange? Okay, let me go back into, I guess, lib session? No, lib magic link. Let's see where we have dot set there. We have a notify. We create, and then we notify, and then we set. I guess if we just flippy flopped these two, then create could go in set. So I'm just going to put that as a to do. To do put create in set. And maybe we could just have a marker for sent or not. But if we're going to have a marker for sent, then I think it does make sense. You know, why save it if the send failed? No need to do that. But then the complexity of it is now you have two operations rather than one. And what's, why optimize for the happy path? That's another one of the mantras I need to write down, is that you optimize for the happy path. Don't waste time optimizing, the path that might not happen, or the path that is the undesirable path that shouldn't ever happen, ideally. And there's a weird thing, because in terms of edge cases, you always need to essentially expect the impossible and handle the impossible. But in terms of optimizations, never optimize for the error. Always optimize for success. Optimize away the error. Oh, yes! It's my favorite commenter coming to let me know that I can be famous and buy big follows. Yes! Oh, let me see. Let me go ahead and mark add to block list. Oops. I guess I clicked an accidental button there. The feel wasn't the same for Wax and Wayne. Still good, just not what I expected after the first three. Yeah. Felt like same universe, but completely different style. And it was. It was. And I think it was great for him to expand out and try that different style. But, I think we all agree. It's pleasant. It's a good story. It's enjoyable. It's nice to spend some time in the world, but it's not the same style. It's much more happy. Have you read Elantris? Elantris is a good one. And the 10th anniversary edition has some minor corrections in it. And by the way, before you get too far down, I don't remember whether it's the second book or the third book of Way of Kings, but you need to go through Mistborn's secret history because there's things you need to know about Kelsey, because the Cosmere is connected and Way of Kings is connected. Also, you need to read Warbreaker. So Way of Kings, I think it's again, I don't remember if it's the second or the third book, but you need to go to Warbreaker before there's a certain special sword that has strange characteristics. And you need to be familiar with Warbreaker to understand some of what's going on. Because the Way of Kings is what's going to tie the whole universe together through its 10 books. And then I think I don't remember if we're going to get one or two more Mistborn sagas. But the final Mistborn saga is going to be a space opera. And the final book in the universe is going to be the very first book, Dragonsteel. So you'll notice on his website, it's Dragonsteel Entertainment. Anyway, I'm getting very little done right now. And it's not really even the stream. If anything, it's probably helping me stay focused, which seems dumb because now, I've been going off for 5 minutes about Brandon Sanderson, but my brain is so foggy today. I'm struggling. Oh, I'm struggling. But I think this is correct now. And yeah, I think I don't want to optimize for the unhappy path. So we're going to get rid of this. Well, wait, but then I'd have to do an await on this. Which is fine. But I got to think about that. Do I want the API to be that has an await? Or do I want to say send the email and then do the set? Send template email. I need to go check that out because this should be awaitable. Oh, whoops. Let's fix that. Yeah, there we are. Bless me. Okay. So this should be right now. Okay, but now I need to make some other modifications. And I remember one of the other reasons that we should have it this way is that I might want to add things that are special. And it turns out that I do. So we need to add some custom properties. That's one of the reasons that I had to do this, is because I needed to be able to add custom properties to the verification before we save it, and potentially before it goes out for email. So I'm going to go check on that. Yeah. The old lady always telling you how many Audible credits you can buy each month. Can't live with the old ball and chain. Can't live without her, eh? Okay, I need to look over. I gotta go check some messages real quick. But yeah, Elantris was the one that I started with. And it took me years to get through it because I guess just the first 4 or 5 chapters, because he's going through 3 different character arcs. And it takes, you don't get enough time with each character to be invested in them enough. It's too short of introductions through the first 3 character arcs, and so you don't get enough sense of what's going on. And then, so the first 3 chapters, you're not hooked yet. And then the next 3 chapters is when you start to get hooked, because it starts to be starts to be when you have enough information about the characters, start to invest in them. I think he did a much better job of that in Mistborn than he did in Elantris. And Mistborn was actually, I think, the first novel that he wrote. But then he wrote Elantris, and they went back and re-edited Mistborn. Actually, I'm not even sure if that's true. There's Way of Kings Prime, which is a completely different book than Way of Kings. That one was written a while ago, and he finished it, and he never published it. And then he split out Way of Kings into Warbreaker and into the book that we now have, and character names were changed, and plot points were changed, yada yada. So it's a completely different thing, but I do want to get Way of Kings Prime when it becomes available. Anyway, I'm looking at some messages to try to remember what it is I need to do. And this is quite embarrassing for me, but I am having a real rough day. Just really brain fog hitting me hard. Okay, pass through new user email full name to. All right, so we are gonna do this a different way. We're going to keep that. Let's see. Okay, new user to account will remain the same API as it is presently. I updated the internals because it didn't make sense to try to work around the sometimes is a new user, other times is an existing user flow. All right, what's next? Okay. There's nothing really special about this, but I would like to know what account. It'd be cool if we could have some sort of information. For initiating the flow. Let's see. Okay, so now with the email change code, what I need to be able to do yeah, this is another thing that actually, as I'm thinking about it, let me go back over here real quick. So in here, there's a little bit of an abstraction that actually makes quite a bit of sense. If I could go find wherever the flippy do it is. Session, blah, 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 blah. App.use. No. App.post. Yeah. So one of the things that I want to do too, I might just do this real quick, is unwrap this. So let's not return the router. Although in a way, we kind of should because it needs to be an async router. I guess that's the main reason that I have this encapsulated, is I don't want to bring the fact that it needs to be an async router all the way up to the concern of the user. Yeah. I want to try to avoid anything that's special. I want to keep encapsulated as much as I can. You know, it's all about trade-offs, but I want to keep it encapsulated as much as I can so that we're not exposing special behavior to the part where the person, you know, the user that's creating this is configuring it. But at the same time, I would like to follow the general pattern of all of the routes are in a single file and not have this nested sub-app style of thing. But I don't know how else to do that. All right, I'm going to leave that one alone for now. Let me go back and look at comments again. Let's see. Amen to that. Yeah. All right. So, I want to be able to, we need to be able to add a new email. Oops. It's going to be this one over here. I don't think my heater's hot enough. Probably not wearing enough clothes. You could look at it either way. I'm going to turn it up a notch. Okay. Power didn't go out, so we're good. Let's see. Got too many. Everything in the garage is on the same outlet, so it's very easy between the computers and the heater to overload it. Okay, anyway. So another thing I need to do is say that a user is allowed to change their email address. And I gotta consider how this is done. So essentially, with that other one, I don't think it makes that big of a deal. There needs to be some amount of information that's given back. Let me go back to this other one again. So I think there's a bit of information that needs to go into the verification, which in this case is account. And I think what we need is probably an account ID. Let's see. Account ID. Rec.user account ID. Should probably pull this all the way up towards the top. Wait. Why is this? Like that, maybe? Let's see. Come on. Where are you, UPS truck? Bring your goodies to me. Gosh. It's just a little too cool in here. I think because it's getting so cold outside. Normally it warms up. Oh, I think it's because I was drinking the cold milk. And It's okay. Soon we're gonna have a Beyond Code jacket soon. Oh, I'm waiting on my M1 Max, the new MacBook. Can't wait to hold it in my hands and see. I'm hope I, I'm hoping that it looks nice. I have some concerns that maybe it won't. But I've already said I'm pretty sure I'm going to send it back and get the bigger one. Just pay the $200 more to get the slightly bigger screen with the better speakers, the built-in amp, the max power mode, and actually I think the max power mode comes on this one as well. I think it comes with a bigger charger when you get the max. Okay. All right. Invitee. I'm a little confused with how invitee is used here. Invited user. If invited user. Yeah. I see why that is the way that it is now. Okay, so I don't like that. All right, account ID. This is what we're going to do. Not inventee, invitee. Darn it. Okay. I like to not have rec.body all over the place. I like to just keep it up at the top. Invitee.email. There we go. Unexpected token, eh? Where? Oh, yeah. Double dot. I understand. The design honestly looked a bit outdated to me. Yeah. Yeah. So I think there's a couple things going on. They wanted to give you the best possible battery life, so I think they're actually a little bit heavier. So you get more battery rather than having such a smooth gradient. Because one of the things that makes these look so thin is actually just how far they stand off the ground and the way that they're curved. And they've got this nice bevel. I think they could have kept the bevel on the top. I think that's the main thing that makes them look a little outdated, is that the top is too flat, whereas all the other ones are curved. But we'll see. Maybe it looks different on camera than it looks in real life. But I think the thing that makes it look outdated is that, and I don't know why they'd get rid of that. I guess it makes it a little bit thinner because you don't necessarily need that bevel. Or maybe the bevel, oh no, because they wanted to put the webcam up top. And so they needed, because they wanted to put the webcam right there and bring the screen all the way to the edge, they had to get rid of the bevel. I bet that's what it is. Because otherwise the bevel would look awkward. I think that's what it is. Because before the webcam was more recessed. And they could recess the webcam again, but then they have to, I think that's what it is that because the screen comes all the way to the edge. Yeah. Yeah. Well, we'll see. Anyway, was it complaining about this one? I need a better solution for this. TypeScript just whines about all of these things. I don't know what to do about it. I don't understand why it's whining. It would just be better if it just set up any's or gave you a generate. Based on your actual structure. There's too much. TypeScript is too much abstraction around things that are legacy and unimportant. Okay, so we got our email vars. We got our invitee. I think I need some sort of event type. I don't even know if that's the right word, but let's call it a hook. I don't know what to call it. New user to account. I think that's fair enough. Because what I want to be able to do is to get this back out and have it available. So I need to look at how to do that too. It should probably be right around here. When it goes to call get claims, which needs to be renamed to login handler, essentially. I think I just need I don't know what I should call it. So we could say we could put in here verification. That could work. And then it would just be whatever values are there. Or we could do, say, an xattrs. Something like this. And just say whatever xattrs there are, they get exposed. I'm not really sure which way I want to do it right now. I'm okay with just duplicating verification. I think that's actually fine. I'm going to do that for now. Okay, exchange challenge token. Finalize verification. So that's going to be the redeem, right? Yeah. I think I want to rename this from finalize to redeem code. I think that makes sense. And I want to name this one to exchange receipt. Yeah, that's better for me. I don't know if I want to have it be the endpoint be redeem or not. I want to leave that for now. But this is one of the ways I can get access to it. The other way, of course, is I can use the .get on the ID, because I already get the ID. So even if I didn't change the internals here, but why? I mean, it's already got to grab it. Why grab it twice? That seems a little inefficient. What am I looking at? All right, what am I looking at? What am I looking at? Verification. Right there. Yeah, that was the one. Yeah, okay, that looks right. Get claims. And this will throw is the deal. Okay, let me go back here. Anyway, I couldn't bring myself to pull the trigger. I just picked up a maxed out M1 Air last year, and considering my workflow, I'm not hitting perf limits, so no justification outside of new and shiny. Yeah. My two justifications are, excuse me, I'd like to go back to having the full size laptop, have those screens, have the nice sound. I mean, this thing's been amazing. I have loved this little guy. He's so cute. But I do notice the screen is a little bit small from time to time. Not usually, because usually I'm working at multiple monitors. And if I'm working on this guy, then this is where a bunch of my messages and stuff are, and then this is where my work is up here. But oops. Oh. Gosh, my brain, it's not working today. But also because I do the meetups and I record at them, I wanted the double video encoder, the dual video encoder. And so I'm debating on whether I should get the 1 terabyte or the 512 gigs. I've almost used up the 512 gigs on this, and the question is really just a matter of how much time do I want to spend cleaning up the hard drive, because it's $200, which is quite excessive, additional. But then the other question is, well, how much time am I going to be wasting making sure that I'm cleaning out temp files and that sort of nonsense to save $200? You know, today is not a day that I would be doing contract work unless they absolutely needed me, because gosh, this is Teravangian day. All right, what the flip am I even doing? All right, I was just looking at the verification code. I was checking out that everything's all right there. What I should have done is I should have been copying. All right, needs same verification and code is what we do through login. That's there. All right, so this is essentially correct. We've got the send template and the verifier set. I should just go take a nap. I think we still got the pumpkin patch. I need to go to the pumpkin patch. Then I think I'm going to take a nap, and then I'll get back up and then do some more work. I wanted to get to the PayPal stuff today, but I don't know if I'm going to get to the PayPal stuff today. Things have been wrapping up so nicely with that. I've just got a few things left. One of them is credit card information. Actually doing a direct credit card flow, which thankfully they give wonderfully faked credit card numbers. Let's see. So I can do that without a real credit card and have a pretty good assurance that when I put in a real credit card, it'll work. All right, so this is in source API routes user profile. Source API routes user profile. I wonder, I need to go take a look at that order function again too. But first let me get to here. Where's my TMPL name? All right, code. What is this body? All right, so we don't need generate code. Get rid of that. Which means we don't need randomish. By the way, I want to switch to ulids and modified ulids for all of my randomish stuff. Because I think you could take the principle of ulid and say you didn't want a full 128 bits. You could take smaller time values. You could do, let's say that you did based on the second rather than the millisecond. And you only need it to roll over to how many seconds are in a year? All right, 24 times 60 minutes times 60 seconds times 365 days. Uh, 31,536,000. 31,536,000 seconds. Is that right? Did I get that right? So if you only need to go up to 31 billion, I just do this for 31 million. Let's do some quick math here. Math log. You need 17 bits. Is that right? I forget if this is that log E or is that log 10? What log is that? Is this the way we do it? 24 bits? We'll do it the other way. We'll do math.pow to the 24. And there, if we do 25, we get 33 million. Yeah. So I don't know. Anyway, I was just thinking you could make smaller ULIDs that have a smaller time component that say wraps around every year for certain types of things. You don't need more than that, and then have a random component that doesn't have as many random bits. So you have, you could maybe take a 32-bit integer and make a random enough for certain things, not for this. My brain. Dear brain, where are you? Well, AJ, remember last night when you didn't sleep well? Oh, yeah, I remember, brain. Yeah, I'm not around today. Oh, okay. I gotcha. Pretty sure this new is wrong. Pretty darn sure. I don't think you can do new moment. I'm just going to double check on that real quick. Moment.js. Let's just see if in the official documentation, do they have any new? No, they don't have any new. You don't do new on moment. Oh, wait, no. Here, documentation here. Project status. Good. Yeah. Okay. But we don't use new, right? That's my main concern. I do like the way this documentation is. That doesn't make sense. What the letter L? What? I'm so confused. What is now? Okay. Let's see. Heaven willing. Moment will exist here. Yes, moment. Var x equals moment. Let's see, that toString. All right. Then what is new moment? Are these different in any way? Dang it. And then what about new date? Yeah, it's all the same thing. That's kind of frustrating. Pick something and stick with it. Either use new or don't use new. All right, I don't want to break anything, so I'm just going to leave it the way it is. But that's frustrating. All right, here we don't need account email. We need new email. Alrighty. Okay, let new email equal. And then if not new email, all right, let me check comments here again. Just a second. So what I do need though is the old email. This is actually good too. I do like this. Bring this functionality back. All right, what we got here? Wucha says hello. Well, hello, hello. I'm going to look at these other comments real quick, too. Only went with 512 gigabytes, haven't regretted it yet. But you don't do video work, do you? See, that's the thing. Maxed out RAM, CPU, GPU. I don't think I don't remember what maxing out would have meant on the M1 Air. I got the not bend version, which might count as maxed out for CPU and GPU, but I didn't max out the RAM. I didn't see any need to do that, especially for something that I'm just getting rid of. So understand the need for dual video encoders. Yeah, the thing is, it seems that I probably shouldn't need them. But the question is this, it becomes a question of, well, how much time is it going to take to tell all the different programs which one should be using hardware encoding and which one should be using GPU, and making sure that they stay balanced, etc. Because I think I should open up the monitor next time I'm looking at this. But I think sometimes programs default to using the encoder rather than, I wish, it seems that there should be an API to say, hey, I need this video to get encoded on time. Use whatever method gets the video encoded on time. And not to say ahead of time, okay, either use the video encoder or use the GPU. It should just say, I need this video encoded. Give me the best available resources to encode it. If I could do that, then I could probably go with the M1 Pro and save quite a bit of money. But it's just a question of would that actually work? And maybe I should get the M1 Pro and the M1 Max and then run them through the paces and do the things that I do with the meetups and the live stream video encoding and see if the M1 Pro works. Because if the M1 Pro works, gosh, it's a lot of money to waste just to get that second video encoder. But then how much time do I have to fidget with it and figure out? And then what if I have a problem? You know, it's just, yeah, it's 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. Anyway. Okay, so we're going to send, I guess we're sending out the email to the new email. I'd also like to send it out to the old one. Do we have that in here? So I'm going to put a to-do here. All right. Anyway, so we're creating our identifier. Our hook name is going to be our template name. Sure, let's just go ahead and save this. All right. Oh, I think the duration needs to be set. Okay. Let me go back over here. And then in verifier, where I do a create. Let's see, I think it's called max age. Should be duration. There we go. There we go, that makes sense. Okay, so that will be there. I don't know what replace email path is all about. Oh, yeah, I know what that is. Let's see. Let's put that there. Yeah, I got the 8-core GPU. What's the best way to keep stopwatch counting after user leaves the page? So which you can't. If you, well, you can and you can't. You have to set your timer 1 second in advance or more, because when the user leaves the page, the set timeout gets clamped. So what you can do is you could set timeouts in advance. So say you set 10 set timeouts 10 seconds in advance, then you can keep the counter counting even if they leave the page, because the clamp value will probably be less than 10 seconds. And so if your counter is setting timeouts 10 seconds ahead for 10 seconds ahead, then the timeouts will continue to fire even though the user left the page. I had this problem when I was trying to get music to fade. It was the same thing. When you have the user leave the page, the timeout clamping would cause the audio to not fade. And so that's what I did, is I just calculated the time at which the audio should end, and then I set the timeouts well in advance. Okay, start time in your DB and run a calc based on the start time when the user comes back. Yeah, that can work too. But I mean, you don't even need it in a database. Are we talking? So I was thinking about leaving the tab. Yeah. So yeah, you would, if you wanted to get when they leave the page, you could put it in local storage or whatever. But I was thinking in terms of if you have a counter in a page. I could link you to one that's for live stream stuff in particular. Let's see if I could find that. I don't have it up anymore. But yeah, if you've got a live stream counter, for example, if you navigate away from the tab, then the set timeout value gets clamped. All right. So email change code. Man. Ugh. And what do we want the user for? We want the user for this right here. Or maybe, oh, you know what? So, yeah, this needs to fire out another thing that's actually quite different. So, in this one, there's kind of two flows here. Let's say email out to new user. And I think we're going to create, let me go back up here. I think we would create the verification. I think all this would be true. Okay, because what we're going to do let's see. No, I think we do want two different verifications, actually. Or do we? Now let's say we're going to send the same verification in two emails. I think that might be what we end up doing. So we're going to send them to user.email, and we're going to give them the ability to cancel the change. So we actually need to get, grab the user, and then we need verification.old email, user.email, let's say. And then we'd want to be able to send out the change request and yeah, new email, old email. Maybe not old, but current. I don't know. I like old because it's 3 letters just like new is. Boop, boop. Maybe like this. All right, where's my TMPL name? It's declared right there. I'm pretty sure it is user.email. All right. So I think we do have an email change notification. Let me double check on that. Source lib mailer. Email change. Notify password change. Okay. Sorry, I'm picking my nose, y'all. Had to get the bad guys out of there. Okay. I'm making a project for me lived for so many days. Yeah, I think you could either do it with local storage or you could do it with database. Either one. It depends on if you know what the goal is. Probably database is generally the safer bet. Oh, I did have a little snippet of code in my cheat sheet for how to calculate how many days it's been from a certain time. Let me know if you want that. I'll put it in here. Okay. So let's take the email change template. Oops. Lib mailer. And let's do this email change notify. Let's do that. And then what is going to be different about this? Gosh, I'm just having such a slow day. My brain, poor brain. Okay, why? I could have sworn I updated all these. What the heck? I know I updated this stuff. What is going on? Git stash list. I know I updated these things. All right, verification code, verification type, verification template. I think it does. Let me. Does my cheat sheet account for time zone stuff? So I created a library called xtz.js for dealing with all the time zone stuff. This one you don't have to deal with time zone stuff. But here it is, the days from now. You can check that out. So you can, of course, change it. This is counting towards the future, so you need to modify it a little bit to count backwards. And then you'll notice here, I should probably put a comment on that, but I just zero out the hours, and then I'll link you to XTZ as well. If you just search XTZ.js, you'll come up with it. But that uses INTL to handle time zones. So it's I believe, the smallest code that you could possibly have for dealing with this. Getting time zone stuff correct. But yeah, you can switch between UTC and time zones, and then, whoops, oh, that's not what I wanted to do. You can, where's this at? Ah, here it is. Okay, start at 12 a.m. And then the JavaScript date object well, yeah, you could use, so this is assuming local time for me. So adjust TZ offset for your use case. See also, there we go, I'm going to put that in there. But you can work around all the time zone issues. The way that I do it is that I just say set the time that you want it to be in UTC, because that's the only thing that JavaScript can really handle. And then you just apply the offsets through the INTL object, which is what XTZ does. So you can end up with the correct time in the time zone that you want. It can just seem a little bit awkward because you can't use a JavaScript date object to specify a time zone that makes any sense. So if you want non-local time, then you have to you have to specify the time in UTC and then translate the offset with XTZ that uses INTL. And it's pretty easy to do. It just may not look right because you might get confused thinking because you're not specifying the time zone that you want it to be in the time as a string that maybe it's UTC time, but you apply it to the time zone that you want. As you can see in the documentation, it takes a little trial and error if you're not used to the way that time zone translation works. So for example, right here, this one, I'm saying treat this time as if it's the time in America, Denver, and then give me the time that so these two things, these two inputs, input time, input zone, take these two things, take this time represented as local time in this zone, and then give me back the time in this zone instead. So that's what that means. And then the reverse would be take this time and then give me back its representation in just that zone. So this is the input time and it's the input zone and the output zone. And then if you wanted to look at that as just UTC, then all you'd have to do is pass it in as new date.toISO string, and then it would do the translation of those 6 hours. So anyway, all right, your verification code is something or other. You've got donations there, that's great. But the thing I wanted to do was this, hey, we received a request to update your blah, 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 email. So let me go back to that one. I'll change code. So this one should be verification dot new email. Need to verify your email address. I think that should be new email. There we go. Toot, toot, toot. And then this one is more alarmist. We received a request to update your email. It will change from, and this should be two, and then let me go grab the other one. If you did not request this change, please please cancel it. See. And then this should be cancel email change. Probably should change that color to be red or something. Let's see what we got over here. Yeah, so right now I'm doing my normal 9 to 5. But I don't know. I think in a minute I'm going to go take a nap because I just didn't get good sleep last night, and I was tossing and turning, and I woke up a couple times, and my brain is just, my fuel is low. I think at this point I'd do better just to take a nap and then come back at it when my brain is ready to do the do. But yeah, which you can take the sample I gave you and you can modify that to work with your need for the time zone, or not the time zone, for the counting days. And it does, I mean, it depends. It may or may not matter to you whether you're counting monotonic days or calendar days. What I mean by monotonic days is, let's say that it is, well, let's say that right now it was 8 p.m. or 1600. There would only be 4 hours left in the day. But if you're doing monotonic time, once 4 hours is up, if you're doing wall clock time, calendar time, once 4 hours is up, you'd say it's been a day. You created your account yesterday. You've had an account for 1 day. But if you're doing monotonic time, then you would actually wait until 8 p.m. or 1600 the next day, and then you would say it's been 1 day. So it depends on which of those you want to do, but the sample I gave you can work for that. You just have to change it a little bit, depending on what you want it to be. Okay, and then this would be verify, and this would be a, we'd stick with the template here. I think we said we'd go to we're going to take the template name and we're going to put it in here like this. Yeah, like that. Oh, whoops, and I need to update that elsewhere as well. What is going on? I know I updated these things. I know I did. I went through. I was even live when I did it. And I updated a bunch of these. I think I updated all of them. I am so confused. Source, API, routes. Was it, no, util, email, templates. Did I do these ones? No, this isn't it. I know that I did this before. Dang it. How did I lose my work? Maybe I did a git stash and I forgot to do a git stash pop, but I just looked at that and that doesn't look. Update latest. Add new templates. That was already done. Okay, let me just take a look at this. So confused. I remember changing these templates. Oh, wait. Is this it right here? No? Yeah, because I put this thing, and I had, if you didn't submit this request, and I had the button, and then I had the link so that you could have the button or copy and paste the link. Yeah. Oh. Let's see. All right, I'm going back here. Nope, not back there. Let's go back to that profile change page right there. Confirmation code. Expires that created it. Alright, I see kind of what's going on there. Anyway. Bless me. right, so it's new email is being, I guess to say new email is redundant, and to put in the old email doesn't make a whole lot of sense. I should just be able to, well, no, the old email does make sense. Okay, I'm gonna leave that there for now. Gotta think on this a little bit. Yeah, so email change. Verification. Wait, did I? Let me go check over here. And lib verifier, did I ever deal with the template itself? I don't think I did. I use it to check which template it should be. Template. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so there's template, we'll put the hook as the same name. Let's see. Gonna have to think this one through a little better. All right, so I'm going to send out both emails. And then I need to go through and find email change code where the defaults are. There should also be email change notify. Just move this one down here. And maybe I should actually do these as two separate emails so you could use either one. Yeah, it'd be kind of a weird situation, but we could the change note. The thing with the email change notification is we want to send an email say, hey, a change has been requested. Yeah. I probably want to stick the user ID on both of those codes. Let me go see about that. Now, verification.user ID is rec.user.sub. Sub for subject, which is the OIDC way of saying ID, more or less. Confirm confirm your new email. There we go. All right. A new email address. I could probably just say verification.new email has been added to your account. Will be. Let's see. Did you request to change your email? Your primary email address? There we go. Something like that, maybe. Okay. That bit's done. All right, I'm gonna see. I think there's 2 more things that I need to do that are gonna be a little less of a deal. Okay. And then I'm gonna take a nap. The dreaded beach ball. Oh no, it's not the dreaded beach ball. Network hiccup. Let's see, R post reset. Can't be too many of those. Let's see. Okay. I think I've already got this taken care of for the most part. Let's see, password. Okay, so yeah, this is already a done deal. So that one's already there. Okay. And we want to be able to pass redirect paths. Let's see. How do we want to make that possible? See, redirect paths for new users and the magic link. Not really sure what that would be. Oh, okay. It's both of those together. Now I understand. Yes. Okay, the other ones will only be accessible through links. Got it. That makes sense. Okay. So what we're saying here is that we want a way to say, well, basically whatever comes in on rec.body, you know, I think that's really what it is. Well, maybe we just want to add redirect. That should just be done server side. What do you want those redirects to look like? Seems like something that should be handled server side so that an attacker, let's see. I ask because that seems like something that should be limited on the server side so that an attacker can't create arbitrary redirects. So this will be handled on the server side or scoped to something very specific so that the attacker, so then an attacker can't create arbitrary redirects. See, I left new user to account as the same route and just updated the internals to send a verification code link because it didn't make sense to work around the sometimes is a user, sometimes it's a new user, sometimes it's an existing user flow. It didn't seem to make sense. There we go. Okay, email change code. Let's see. Where did the email change code bit go? Because I almost think this does deserve to have some sort of hook. But I don't know. That might be getting too fancy. Let's see, how would it currently work? Let's see. I was I'm a little bit confused about the password reset. Let's see. If you post to API auth-in challenge, finalize with reg.body.password, it will update the password. This is already deployed. Let's see, and I think that already works with the password, the reset password thing, right? Reset password. Oh gosh. And I changed. Did I change these things or not? I don't know. All right, everybody. I'm too out of it. My brain's too foggy. I'm wasting more time than I'm gaining by continuing to try to work. So I'm gonna go take a snooze break and go to the pumpkin patch, and then come back to this in the evening when my mind is a little more caught up and fresh. Because realistically, at this point, I'm wasting everybody's time. I'm wasting my time. I'm wasting my employer's time. I'm wasting your time. I don't even know why you're tuned in at this point. But I'm just wasting everybody's time because my brain is not cooperating with me. I'm going one cycle for every 10 here, and I'm just not feeling productive at all. So I'll make 2 more changes or so, and then just call it what it is. Let's see. Template. Oh, and I probably should bring duration around on that as well. Okay. All right. So sorry, buddy. I'm gonna call it quits for now. So on the odd chance that this had anything useful for you in it, consider giving it a thumbs up. Otherwise, give the old thumbs down. Every thumb helps, even though this session may not have deserved it. If you want to follow along, hit the subscribe, click the bell for personalized recommendations, and click all the things. Check out the doobly-doo. Have the best day, morning, night, whatever it is, wherever you are, that you ever had in your entire life, ever. That's an order. And with that, I'm going to go take a snooze break and come back when the neurons are ready to do the proper firing. Because this is probably my second most embarrassing session. Most embarrassing session was when my neurons were firing and I was doing just as bad. So, anyway, peace.